Chapter 8. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated, and the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. And she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, was the earth dry. And God spake unto Noah, saying,
Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth.
And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kind, went forth out of the ark. And Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart,
I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
Chapter Review. As we can see, the Noah's Ark story is moving along the same way as its predecessor, the Epic of Gilgamesh. The ark has come to rest on a mountaintop. Noah sends out birds to see if the waters have receded. Noah builds an altar, and Noah makes animal sacrifices to God. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the sacrifices were needed by the gods. When the sacrifices were made, the gods needed the sacrificial food because they didn't have anything to eat during the flood. When Noah makes the sacrifice, God just smells a sweet savor. To illustrate, God is still in control during and after the flood, as opposed to the gods from the Epic of Gilgamesh, who were out of control and seemed to be afraid by the very flood that they caused themselves. God promises not to curse the ground again, as he has done before. For Adam, it was thorns and thistles. For Cain, the ground will no longer yield her strength. And for all of mankind, it was the flood. God also says he will never kill every living thing again. So far, the Bible is illustrating that God is having a hard time figuring out human behavior. He created Adam and Eve, and their disobedience caused him to remove them from the garden and block them from the tree of life. If not for their disobedience, Adam and Eve could have lived on forever. Because Cain commits the first murder, now God is going to have to explain or have rules against killing. Up until this point, there isn't any prohibitions against killing. Man is made in the image of God, and from that we can assume that killing is wrong. But there isn't any explicit laws against killing, so God is going to have to speak on it now. Because of all the violence in the land during Noah's time, God is now ready to wipe the slate clean. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 6, it says, "And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart." God thought he was going to get one thing, but human beings had other plans. And God didn't seem to see this coming. And now he was ready to wipe them out and start all over with Noah and his family. Now, I want you to think about the image that Genesis is painting of God and his inability to figure out or predict human behavior. Is this painting an accurate description of the God that you know? Because God isn't finished making adjustments yet. In chapter 11, God is going to make another adjustment because he still hasn't quite figured us out yet. So until we get to chapter 11, just keep this in mind and think about it. Is the first few chapters of Genesis describing the God that you know?